So today I'm going to be covering maybe one of the most forgotten and neglected support weapons in the game, and that is the Spear Missile Launcher. Now, I don't think it is the most neglected weapon in the game. That would undoubtedly be the Sterilizer, but the Spear has had a rough history throughout this game's lifespan. When the game launched, the Spear was like unusable. It would never lock on. It would just not work properly. It didn't do any damage. I vividly remember the first time I used the Spear, I shot it at a tank, assuming that it would one-tap the tank because, you know, it was coming in from a top-down angle like a javelin does and hitting the roof. So I'm like, okay, so this thing's like specifically for automaton tanks, which were a bigger threat back in the day, right? And then I just had the most tilting experience because not only did that missile not kill the tank, which immediately made me realize, oh yeah, this weapon is completely unsalvageable, the follow-up missile crashed my game. And that was the very first time I ever used the Spear. I did not use it very much after that, but I still think it is pretty goddamn bad. Though it is functional now, at least the lock-on usually works. There's some edge cases where it does not work well at all, and that leads into my next point. The Spear is balanced like the lock-on is a huge upside, when the lock-on is generously a side grade to being able to aim the rocket yourself with something like the recoilless. The lock-on is still pretty unreliable at actually hitting things sometimes. It doesn't lock on that well if there's any obstructions. It's useless in close ranges, not even close ranges, like medium ranges. I think 20 meters and the missile already starts missing most heavies pretty consistently. And all these things combined turn the lock-on into kind of a liability that doesn't have that many advantages, without even considering the fact that you cannot aim for weak points, which is a really big deal. And then on top of that, the Spear gets, I think, half the amount of ammo that the recoilless rifle gets, almost half at least, for only a little bit increased damage, which doesn't really help against any breakpoints, I don't think. I think the only thing the Spear can do that the recoilless cannot is one-tap automaton dropships to the body, which isn't that big of a deal because you can just hit them in the engine with the recoilless and that's fine. But the Spear trades so much ammo, and that is really the biggest downside, is the Spear, it doesn't have any ammo. And then the lock-on also kind of sucks, so there is never a reason to bring out the Spear, in my opinion. A commenter in one of the last videos, I wish I remembered his username, made a joke saying that the Spear video would just be me in multiple different situations saying, man, I wish I had another anti-tank option. And he just went through all the other anti-tank options because this is genuinely one of the worst ones. And this game does have a problem with anti-tank where a lot of our anti-tank is just really bad. Like the Spear is terrible. The autocannon sentry I think is pretty bad. The red stratagems that are supposed to be anti-tank, the OPS, rail cannon strike, and especially rocket pods are all pretty bad as well. So there's a lot of things in this game that should be good against heavies that just aren't. And that really hurts build variety. And that's why you see people take like the ultimatum and the thermites and the recoilless every round, because those are the things that work. And the problem is that D10 in higher difficulties are defined by a spam of heavies. So you have to bring something that is good against heavies, or at least a significant portion of your team has to bring something that is good against heavies. And I don't think that's a great way of designing things. People will say, oh, it's co-op, just specialize. That doesn't work in this type of game. I'm sorry. There's a reason no other horde shooter like makes people unable, like makes a certain class or loadout or whatever just completely unable to effectively deal with a single type of enemy. Every class or every loadout configuration, every reasonable loadout configuration, I think has to be reasonably effective in some way. And there's just so many anti-tank options that could round out loadouts and just make not taking anti-tank support weapons and primaries and secondaries and grenades a lot more fun, and they're just not there. And that is why thermites have like a 50% pick rate on every front. Besides the point, leaving the range of the Spear a little bit, which also has limited range compared to the recoilless, which did not mean to make that segue, but here we are. Anyway, let's get into the rest of the build. So I'm going to be taking my bot classic, the 120 Eagle Strafing Run combo. These two together let you deal with just about any threat. They're both really fast cooldown for what they bring you. They're both really versatile, and they both do a lot of work for you on this front. Strafing runs mostly to deal with small patrols and fabricators, and 120 mostly to deal with big outposts, objectives, and big enemy reinforcement waves. I'm going to be bringing the Rocket Sentry. Now, Rocket Sentry, or just all sentries in general, have taken a pretty big hit the last patch. Or not the last patch, whenever the Bastion was added, because now they take way more damage from the bots, so they are a lot worse than they used to be, which makes me kinda hesitant to bring them, but the Rocket Sentry is really good when it does survive, and it does get to use all those rockets. Tons and tons of damage. This thing just really deals with enemies very, very well, if it doesn't get shut down again. I'm going to be bringing the Diligence because I just like hitting headshots on the bots. This is my favorite headshot weapon. I don't like the low ergonomics of the counter sniper, and I like how much faster the bullets are compared to the sensor, so the Diligence is still my GOAT. I'm going to be bringing the Enforcer Armor for 50% explosive damage reduction and better armor rating, so headshots are less lethal. And I'm going to be bringing the Ultimatum and the Giga Grenade, because despite the fact that I am bringing a purely anti-tank support weapon, maybe the most anti-tank coded support weapon in the game, even more than the Recoilless, because the Recoilless has an HE mode, which is useful against chaff, the Spear only deals with heavies. It's still not enough. You don't get enough ammo, and there's too many situations in which it's just not useful if an enemy gets too close to you. So I'm doubling up on anti-tank because that's the game. I'm bringing Giga Grenades here specifically because I just like them more than Thermites. I think Thermites are much better because you just get so many more of them, but Giga Grenades are way more fun, and they have a little bit more versatility because they can be used against chaff as well. And on the bot front, I think the fact that they do less damage is usually not that big of a deal, except like against tanks, but I have the Ultimatum, and there's not that many tanks usually in matches. And finally, Vitality Enhancement. I take this all the time unless I'm running light armor, in which case I just accept my death, but more health is nice. Anyway, that's it for the build, so as always, we will take a sip of water. I don't know why I made it a command that time, but here's another command. Please like and subscribe, it helps me out a lot. Now, whew, man, the Spear. I describe it as a car crash of a weapon, and I almost got into a car crash today. That was a great segue. Man, I'm a natural at this. You gotta be careful when you're driving out there, because, man, people be stupid. People be cutting 4 lanes of traffic without looking. just be doing that. So, pay attention if you do drive on a regular basis, or even if you just drive every so often. Okay, so here we have a resupply, so I'm going to start taking out cannon turrets, and this is something the Spear actually kind of excels against, rarely, is that it is really, really consistent at hitting cannon turrets, because cannon turrets are like nice and elevated, and they're also kind of hard to hit with other anti-tanks because their profile is so thin. But here immediately we see another problem with the Spear. I can visibly see the Fabricator, right? I could hit it very easily with any other anti-tank option, but because of this little wall, the Spear can just do nothing. And same with this one. And since there's no like direct fire mode, I'm just helpless, even though, again, I can see them, nothing I can do about them. So we'll come back and deal with the rest of the Mega Factory later, before the enemies show up. Here is a gunship, Fabricator, okay. I mean, the Spear will be really good at dealing with gunships, just because it'll, like, track them. I think it tracks them pretty effectively. I actually have not shot a gunship with a Spear in a while. During my testing, no gunships showed up at all. Because they only show up when they feel like it. Okay, having a smoke round. Just try and not catch that. That mortar was acting like a smoke round for that Devastator. I can see him. You wouldn't happen to have more ammo. Okay, yeah, this support weapon is like honestly one of the most ammo starved in the game. It's as bad as the belt feds, the maxi gun, and the what do you call it? Well, belt peg grenade launcher, that is what you call it. I just said it. I'm an idiot sometimes. Ooh, please don't kill me. But, let's see if that deals with that, mortar outpost, so I can actually reload and pull back. 'Cause I anticipated this, the reinforcement. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. That accuracy buff is crazy. Okay, so here we have a factory strider. Now, the spear is not great against factory striders because you cannot aim for the weak point, but it is kind of nice to be able to just like lock onto the turret in the smoke like that. So it's not the worst against factory striders either. It's just like kind of bad. I mean, this is a concept I think I do want to turn into a full video, and that's talking about like the spectrum of viability. I really gotta find a better name than spectrum for it, because that's too open to memes, but I think there is like a wide spectrum in between like unusable and like overpowered, right? And I feel like most weapons do fall in between those two categories, but I think that they are always, or very frequently, way too close to unusable. And I don't know why that's the case, because I think the game would be more fun if things were closer to... Really? You survived that? God damn. This thing's just not dying. There we go. You are still alive as well. Rocket Sentry was not doing his due diligence there. Not really his fault. I don't know why. I don't think he received a shadow nerf. I think he was just spreading his damage out on the factory strider and hitting out like the legs instead of just constantly hitting the like the exposed innards, which is what you should do when you're going for the side hits on a factory strider. That's the best way to take him out. Okay, these troopers are going to be a problem if I let them live, so let's not do that. And I gotta go get more ammo before this guy starts ruining my day. I mean, he's just gonna... Oh, he didn't hit me, actually. Not yet, at least. And see, even here, reloading the spear is just gonna be kind of annoying. Unless I can find some cover. Okay, don't miss. Yeah, we're good. This spear definitely is good against gunships. I shouldn't have doubted that much, at least. Yeah, I love stationary reload weapons. I think they've gotten, like, worse on the bots. The only faction I think they were, like, not an enormous detriment and just, like, kind of a moderate detriment. I think now they actually are a pretty enormous detriment, just because, the bots are so much more accurate that it is really hard to find windows to actually get that reload off without getting shot or interrupted or ragdolled or the million other things the bots can do. Let's get another rocket sentry up on this rock. And what is that? That's a one for. Let's deal with him with the strafing run, and you're not surviving for more than like 3 seconds. Did not count, just estimated. And we gotta take this out before it eats up even more of our ammo. Man, I don't even know how they can fix the spear is like the fucked up part. Because like usually I like to have like a solution to like a problem I lay out, because I think that's like an important part of constructive criticism is offering a solution. I think that's like an inherent part of it. But I genuinely don't know how to fix this weapon aside from at the bare minimum like make the lock-on like not a liability, make it an actual benefit where it can like consistently lock on against every opponent without like getting stuck on fences or like tiny little walls or having weird like hitboxes. I mean, I wouldn't hate also if it had a laser guided mode. I think that would be pretty cool, like the Commandos guided mode, where you just like point at something and then the rocket goes there. Like, oh, excuse me, without too much trouble. I think that would go a long way to make this thing way more fun. But in terms of like statistical buffs, I don't know. I mean, like more rockets or more missiles, I suppose, is an obvious one. But that would mean changing like the sprites, or not the sprites, but the model for the backpack, because it's visibly can only hold 3 rockets. Where the fuck did you come from? I don't know, but I'm gonna miss all my shots on you. So I don't think Arrowhead is going to do that precisely again, because that would require a lot of work. Ooh, that's pretty fun though, I can't lie. I think like there is a niche for this, and that is just like stationary reloading, or like team reloading the spear specifically during, what do you call it, defense missions, with a teammate like up your ass with a supply pack. That's like the only time I can see the spear like really being crazy, and that just requires so many boxes to be ticked off that it's not really worth considering. Why did I just walk past the objective and not do it? See, look, tiny little fence. I can see the whole thing, and I can't lock on. Yep, see, tiny little fence because I can't see the center of it. Just completely fucks over the lock on. Yeah. I do think the laser guided mode is like not negotiable. So I guess that is one way you could fix it. But even if the guided mode was perfect and like never failed, and you had a laser guided mode on top of that, I still don't think this thing would be that good. That's the thing. I don't know. More ammo would be a solution, but again, for the reasons I laid out before, I don't think that's going to happen. I feel like that's more work than Arrowhead is willing to put into a single support weapon, considering how little work they put into a lot of weapons so far. But I also don't want to make it just like more damage, like you can delete everything in one hit, because then that would like, if it can kill like, maybe it depends. I don't think it should kill factory striders in one hit, because I like factory striders, and like I want to fight them. I don't want them to die instantly every match because somebody brings the spear. I definitely think it should be able to one-tap body shot Bile Titans. I think that would be like more than okay, because I hate Bile Titans. But really maybe just a little bit more damage, and leave it as like a really powerful like delete button on a scary heavy, instead of just being like kind of a mid. I guess it's still like, what there's really no like midway delete button, is there? I kind of backed myself into a corner with this analogy. It being not that, it's not a delete button, it's sometimes inconvenience the enemy button. Okay, well, I'll set up next to another resupply. And crazy enough, just because of the fact that you have so many more resupplies, I think it is like better in a sense on solos, just because like you can actually like spam out rockets like this. I'm not gonna get him in time. I might get in time though. Yeah, that was probably worth it. Oh, that's scary. Well, I'm happy I had the Giga Grenade there instead of thermites, but still think they're worse. Now they're really, come on. Oh, that could have been a lot worse than it was. Okay. At least it's just bot troopers. I would have been mad if you just dropped like a shitload of enemies right on top of me. But bot troopers, I can handle that. Okay, I do think maybe it should be a bit better at killing factory striders. But I think that would come with the fact, if you gave it like a proper like guided mode, or laser guided mode, and just made the lock on just like way better, then I think it would be good against factory striders. The only problem it has against them is that you can't aim it, so you know, if you could aim it, then it wouldn't really have that much of a problem anymore, aside from just having the worst ammo economy, of course. But also, I'd be fine with giving it unlimited range, at least on the laser guided mode, because I think it's kind of fucked up that this thing should be like the range counterpart to the recoilless, since it's a missile instead of a rocket, so it doesn't have any like drop off. Okay, fuck off. I can't use the spear here just because that guy's way too close, so he would the spear would go way past him. Hey, you gotta fucking stop doing that. Are you the last shielded Devastator that's gonna walk out from that dead factory strider? I hope so, because I'm getting real tired of you guys. Do I have... yeah, I do have more resupplies here. It's good, because I kind of need them. Okay, any targets of opportunity I can get? No. That's a shame. Oh man, I really am like pretty convinced now that one of the reasons the meta is so stale, especially on the bots in terms of dealing with heavies, is because like our anti-heavy options are pretty bad. Except for the ones that are really good, our anti-heavy options are pretty bad. So no fucking surprise, people are gonna want to use the things that are really good instead of the things that are not good at all. Or not very good at the bare minimum, if you want to be charitable. Okay, and see, like, completely useless to have the spear here, because it just cannot deal with enemies in close quarters. It's yet another, like, classic arrowhead-style weapon to be a bit mean, where it's just, like, they vastly overestimate how useful the positives are, and just, like, riddle the thing with downside after downside after downside after downside. Until it's just not fun, and also just not really worth using. Which is a shame, because I do think the spear is cool. Like, it's nothing crazy, it's just guided missiles, like... Not that much more interesting than something like the recoil is, but... No reason it shouldn't be fun to use. And effective, really. There we go. I guess maybe there is, like, a point where you are so bad at aiming that the spear does become, like, a marginally better than the recoil is. But I feel like we should not balance around that type of player, honestly. And it's not even balanced around that type of player, because the spear is worse than the recoil is in, like, almost every characteristic, except, like, raw damage, right? So even to the person who is so bad that they cannot hit their recoil shots, as well as the spear can hit its shots, like, you're just punishing them. I feel like being that level of bad at the game, you know, should be punishment enough, right? Like, the spear should be better in that analogy to, like, help this theoretical, truly terrible player along. Did he just fucking hop over that wall? I wasn't really paying attention. That's crazy if he did. So this guy I can deal with, and he is going to be too close. And I don't think... Yeah, maybe? Yeah, way too close. There goes 25% of my ammo. Yeah, that was perfect. Okay. Again, incredible line of sight, but just because the lock-on point is, like, placed in a weird spot, that means I just can't do anything about it. I actually kind of don't want to use it here. I would appreciate if you were to stop shooting my rocket sentry, because he's very fragile these days. The bots, I feel like, are not very accurate against sentries. Like, compared to how accurate they are against me, that guy was walking and firing full auto and still hitting all his shots. Truly realism for thee, but not for me. Okay, was that the... No, that wasn't the last one. That is a shame. It's probably only one more. Okay. I still think the spear is, like, far from the worst weapon in the game, especially when you bring, like, a shitload of other anti-tank to support it, but when it inevitably, like, runs out of ammo or just is completely useless. Like, oh, you... I'll get some of the resupplies. Okay, if I stop clipping my shots through this thing. Yeah, I'll get enough of them. That's not the end of the world. Oh, they all fell down. Okay, that was just a little bit of trolling. Okay, let's reload this thing. And the tank is still a little traumatized by that first time I used the spear. But nope, the game did not crash and the tank died. Okay, please, one more thingamabob, and we're done. Will you lock on? Again, that tiny little light post is enough to defeat this state-of-the-art guiding system. Okay, well, also getting hit is enough to defeat the state-of-the-art guidance system, but that's a little more justified. That one I can live with. I don't think that's the fault of the spear. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Please, long shot. Hell yeah, we get those every day of the week. Somehow these guys have appeared from behind me, which is not cash money. Very smart to shoot that. Definitely wasn't on purpose though. But if it was, impressive. Holy shit, I am garbage at this game. Okay. If I reload this, and then now we have strafing runs, so we should be in a much better position. I did end up needing all 4 of those boxes, so it's a good thing that they all fell. Because otherwise, I would be in a not great spot right now. I mean, that's not what I would have done, but I guess that was blocking it. Still not what I would have done if I was that Eagle pilot, but hey. Yeah, they have like half a second to improvise on the strafing run, so kind of fair, actually. Okay, see, like, already, if I only had the spear as my anti-tank, I would just be out of ammo. So, I don't know. Like, there's the argument that I'm playing solo, right? And, of course, that means I just have to fight more enemies than usual. But at the same time, if you're bringing the spear, that means you should be the anti-tank specialist of the team, right? And if you can't deal with every heavy by yourself, or like at least the vast majority of heavies by yourself, then are you really the anti-tank specialist? Or are you just somebody who brought a bad weapon and now needs to be carried, at least a little bit? And that's like my take with these weapons that a lot of people say, or at least some people say, are like, oh, they're co-op weapons, like you need to like rely on your team. To me, that just means your team needs to do the heavy lifting for you because you didn't bring a good weapon. Because, like, there are weapons that are specialized and, like, do synergize with your team, like the Liberator Concussive or the Hull, or to, like, a lesser degree, the Stim Pistol. But those weapons, like, still can work solo just because they're not bad weapons. Like, they do what they're set out to do. Now, not everybody's going to agree that what they set out to do is worth your time, but if a weapon is going to work in teams, I think it is also going to work in solos. And if it doesn't work in solos, unless it's something like explicitly useless to help yourself with, like the Stim Pistol, then I don't think the reason it's bad is because you're in solos. The reason it's bad is because it's bad. Because you could bring something good in teams, just as you can bring something good in solos, you know? So, I don't know. I think people give way too much thought to how different solos and teams are, because they really are not. Like, sure, solos are harder because, you know, more enemies are fighting you, but playing the host in a team and playing solos, somewhat similar experiences, I'm not gonna lie. Because, I mean, everybody knows at this point that, like, being the host is, like, the secret 11th difficulty. Because enemies are more accurate, they spawn around you more aggressively, they, detect you more easily, their hitboxes are broken, there's a ton of host bugs, like chargers doing 180s. So, I don't know. I think there's a lot more in common than some people are willing to admit. Okay, so if we get... Oh, there's another artillery site? It's that one, okay. Here I might actually be able to use the spear, because we have some nice high ground. That's not nice. Really not nice of you at all. I don't have anything to deal with the reinforcement wave, because I wanted to save the 120 to deal with the whatchamacallit, outpost, or a mortar outpost. What is it called? Just automaton artillery? It's not on the map yet, so I can't check. The in range of enemy artillery. Yeah, that's what it's called. Thank you for reminding me, mission control. Ooh, can I actually climb this? Holy shit, climbing in Helldivers 2? Patch 6 point whatever the fuck this is. That's never heard of. Okay, well, who needs aim when you got the rocket sentry? Please. Yep, here's another lock-on weapon classic. That's not a lock-on weapon classic. That's a me sucking and being on a weird slope, so the aim is a little fucky classic. Okay, you gotta stop doing that. But if there's more than one thing that you can lock onto in your circle of death, a lot of the times that means you will lock onto the absolute last thing you want to lock onto. It seems to be a very reliable effect. I'm very scared of him. Somehow he can see me perfectly, and I don't even know he's there. But that's oof, that was way closer than I would have liked. What the fuck is even... Was that another artillery shot? Probably. So you guys might actually hit me, so I don't want you living for any longer than you have to. Okay, let's get you sorted out. Oh man, it is hot in here, but this is a temporary problem because the reason I've been so busy is because I've been moving places, and my new place has much better air conditioning. That is also much quieter, so I will actually be able to run it while I'm recording, and while Helldivers is cooking my PC alive, as it is, you know, infamous for doing. Really, you gotta not do that. Really, you gotta not do that either. None of the things you're doing, you should be. I do not approve, I do not consent of these actions. My name is Carl Franz. Okay, there we go. I really would like to kill you if you're going to be an annoying little shit. No. No. Bad spear. Okay, even when you have, like, the perfect line of sight, sometimes it just won't do what you want it to. And that is what I mean when I say that the guidance system is not a benefit to the spear. If anything, it is a detriment, but I think generously you can call it a side grade. Okay, are you already too close? I think not. Almost too close. Though honestly, I feel like if you were to give this thing a laser guided system, I might not use the lock-on ever again. Actually, maybe against like a gunships. But there's just not that many flying enemies like that. What the? Really, from that far away? Yeah, mine's better. Okay. Actually, no, mine is strictly not better. Because if he headshots me with one of those rockets, I go down comparably fast. Well, that's an exaggeration. I still go down pretty fast, is what I'm trying to say. You fucking fat piece of shit, get out of my way. Okay. Illegal broadcast. Wait, is there another step with this? I think there might be, actually. Can you... No, you can't. Of course you can't. It probably needs to lock onto, like, the base. Because I think I am in range. Isn't the range 200? I thought it was, like, 200 to 300, honestly. But, have not checked that in a while. But, yeah, it probably needs to lock onto the base of the structure. Because that's where, like, the lock-on point is. Okay. And, it just can't see that, because, you know... We're not a fucking planes, so we have to be... like, in high ground. But again, like, that commenter, I really wish I remembered your name, was so fucking right. Just every time, I'm just like, man, I sure wish I had another... I sure wish I had any other anti-tank option. I think every single other one is, like, way better. Even the commando... Actually, I love the commando, but... Even the commando, even the eats, you name an anti-tank weapon, and I like it more than the spear. Sad, but many such cases. Still no lock-on on that outpost. Or not outpost, illegal broadcast. The outpost is hopefully going to get dealt with by the Wombo. Do I even bother? No, I'll just eagle strafing run it. Really, my loadout is still at like 90% effectiveness. If you remove the spear, which is kind of crazy. Okay, you did hit. I was gonna say you fucking missed that, eagle. What happened to never miss? Okay, rocket sentry's gonna deal some good work for us. You know, I really wish we had like a portable weapon that was similar to the rocket sentry. Like a disposable, like what was the name from that one? Fuck, that one deep rock weapon that the gunner gets. Like the hurricane missile launcher system, like whichever one launches the missile and the gunner has it. Like that, but it's just the projectiles that the rocket sentry shoots. And it's maybe disposable, maybe it doesn't have to be disposable. I just like disposable weapons. But I would like that very much, please, because I think that would be really cool. And it would be... That was a really stupid, I don't know why I shot that while falling. Many ways that could have gone wrong. But a weapon like the rocket sentry like that would be so sick, especially against the bugs, because we don't have like any good anti-tank that can also close bug holes ever since the grenade launcher got unbuffed or nerfed, I suppose. Whichever way you want to look at it. Yeah, I gotta be more patient with my headshots. They're easy to hit if you just wait for the right time. And here the spear is just going to waste a ton of damage hitting different body parts. Unless I get really lucky and it hits the same one twice. He still survived, what the hell? That should have killed him. That's some bullshit over there. That's some bullshit that's hit stunning me so I can't actually reload. 3 spear shots. I think it should not take 3 spear shots. I'm not sure it should take 1, but it should not take 3. That much I'm certain of. 4 spear shots, and that guy had been shot by the rocket sentry plenty of times, so he was already wounded. Unless it was another one, but I don't think so, because he was missing his cannon, and he was missing both his chin guns. So clearly, oh my god, I'm so bad at this game. What is wrong with me? It's the heat. I blame the heat. The bots are trying to smoke me out. Okay, there we go. Reload that. Just gotta wait. Really, the key and that I'm forgetting about is you wait for them to step and then you shoot as they're like landing or like they're putting their weight on one foot, because otherwise they what the fuck is he doing? He's still hitting me despite clipping through like 10 million different things over there. Yeah, wait until the Devastator like takes a step and like puts his weight on one foot and then shoot, instead of trying to shoot as he's like bobbing his head up and down as he's walking. That's my advice. I'm just not following it. Oh, we need another bot MO with no cyborgs so I can actually start practicing landing my headshots again, because clearly I'm out of practice. I really have barely played the bots since we left Cybersand, just because I got kind of burnt out on them, and I just also think they're not very fun right now. Or maybe that's an over-exaggeration. I think they're less fun than they were before Cybersand, and that kind of upsets me, and that makes me not want to play them. Even if they are still like still are my favorite faction, it's still like I play them, I'm like, damn, I sure wish the Cybersand patch had not happened. Because the recoil, or not recoil, accuracy buffs just made Fractal so bad. It's so bad on this front right now. Okay. Well, at least I wasn't using the Epoch, because I was 100% dead there. You gotta finagle the lock-on sometimes and like try and get them into different parts of the circle, and it's not super reliable. Okay, guys, come on. Come on. Let me shoot. Thank you. No. Fuck. Well, that's annoying, but what can you do aside from hit your shots and stop him from doing that in the first place? Okay. Do I have... I don't have resupply, which is actually kind of a... You gotta relax. You gotta relax with these guys. That's enough factory strikers for me, please. If I had the recoilless, now you could send as many factory strikers as you want, but this guy, did he just shoot through his own body to hit me? And is now wigging out? Okay. That sure is a thing that just happened. Find some cover, get the reload out. And just start dumping ordnance into the War Strider. Still alive. There we fucking go. Oh my god. Thank you, Rocket Sentry. I've been getting good value from the Rocket Sentry, specifically because this is not a seed that has too many. berserkers, because berserkers are a pretty hard counter to the rocket sentry. Since they do tend to get close to it, and then if an enemy is close to the rocket sentry, it is essentially dead. It doesn't shoot anymore until that enemy dies, but usually the berserker does more than enough damage to just instantly kill the sentry before you get a chance to react. Unless you're like actively babysitting it, which is easier said than done by yourself. That's a difference in between solos and teams. It is a lot harder to babysit sentries. Because in teams, you're already babysitting your teammates, right? So you know, you're already used to that. Okay, so where are these bot drops going to be coming from? This way? Really, I was going to be so impressed if you tracked that, but I guess not. I mean, it would have been like more unrealistic, but who cares? I'm sure a lot of people care. I don't care. This weapon needs to bend the rules a little bit to be good. I can live with that. Okay, let's do something stupid and get 2 waves cooking at the same time. Just so we can get this done a bit faster, because I'm getting impatient. I don't want to play with the spear much any longer than I have to. It is pretty fun to use when it works. It's just like, missile launchers are cool, and the javelin is cool, right? So it's not like pulling teeth. It's not like I'm using like the sterilizer or something, but again, every time I use it, I just wish I brought something different. That's what the spear is good for, is making you think about all the other anti-tank options in the game. So if you can't pick what anti-tank you want to use the spear, and then every anti-tank weapon will just flash through your mind over and over again, and then it'll be easier to pick the match after that. Guarantee you that much. Okay, another Giga Grenade for the Giga Grenade God. Lots of berserkers this way, and I don't want to deal with that. Okay, I feel a little redeemed after getting those headshots that quickly. When the enemies are standing still, it is not that bad. It's when they are moving around, then it becomes a problem. Please? Yeah, wait for the step. I'm not doing it, because I heard the grenade and I got stressed out. Ooh, that's good. That's going to stun all the enemies. They're all going to stand still, and I can get a trillion gajillion headshots. Never mind. They just... Nope. Oh, we're not doing that, I guess. Okay, cool. Oh, I only got 5 minutes? What the... Where did the time go? What the fuck was I doing this whole mission? I mean, yapping, but, I always do that. Ooh, boy. Well, I guess it's a good thing we got started on the fortress, because I'm gonna need all the time I can get. And then the rocket sentry dies. Sad. It really... The rocket sentry, I think, got hurt especially bad, because all the other sentries, like, they still usually use up all their ammo before they die, but the rocket sentry has so much ammo that, like, the life is the limiting factor, right? Oh, ow. So, like, an autocannon sentry dying fast, not that much of a DPS, like, a damage loss, just because the autocannon sentry, like, is what's gonna use up all its ammo in, like, 2 seconds anyway, right? So, weirdly enough, the weaker sentries suffered a little bit less than the rocket sentry did, even though they still did suffer, which they shouldn't have suffered at all, I don't think. Like, nerfing the laser sentry, like, should be a war crime. That thing is a war crime, if I'm gonna be honest. One of the worst stratagems in the game, the laser sentry. And just blanket nerfs like that, which Arrowhead really loves doing. I don't know why. And it just saves time. But blanket nerfs like that just do so much harm to a lot of weaker options. Should I just start taking pot shots at any sort of target that way and hope that it is fabricators? Maybe. I'm probably shooting rocket striders, because for some reason this thing locks onto rocket striders. God knows. Yeah, okay. That is what I wanted it to do. You're right. You're right, Spear. I shouldn't doubt your judgment. Yeah, let's eat up one of these and just dip. That's unfortunate that the enemies are in the way I want to go, but that do be the way it goes sometimes. I'm gonna use I want to save the 120. Maybe I shouldn't. does have a fast cooldown. What is a fast way of going about it? I think this way. Please don't ragdoll me or kill me. Thank you. No, that took a lot of restraint. Oh. The Scorcher Hulk's also a huge counter to the Rocket Sentry. Oh, it's just dead. Right. Especially because I'm getting ragdolled, so I can't save it. Oh, no, it locked in. Okay. Please start killing. Because I gotta start moving. And I cannot do both at the same time. Or you could just stagger him about 1 trillion times. Also works. Well, I guess I have to fight this whole fucking reinforcement wave anyway, because they are just, like, in my way. Jesus Christ, okay. 2 minutes. Okay, that's fine. Well, I killed well, I did not kill every enemy. There's probably still a lot left. Yeah. I really would have liked those resupplies, but I can probably live without them. I 100% would have hit that guy if it wasn't for the flinch trust. Trust. I'm not making that up. Low on stims, low on time, low on spear rounds, but that one was kind of a given. More fucking tremors. Okay. We gotta stop with these. So this is not a bad fortress layout, I don't think. I'm pretty sure there are not many to no bunker turrets, which is the difference between a good fortress layout and a bad fortress layout, by the way. It's purely the bunker turrets. That's the only thing that matters. Which, you know, that means the enemy is, like, really great and fun when the good versions don't have it and the bad versions have a lot of it. Okay. Call it another spear. Shout out to the CEO saying the spear's cooldown was too long. He was cooking with that. We just couldn't see it. Really, we've only taken out one. So I guess I was just locking onto random bullshit instead of the things I needed to. Oh, I'm just dead. Yeah, I'm just dead. I was out of sims. I didn't realize, and Bot Trooper is the end of the ender of galaxies. When you're out of sims, he will just kill the shit out of you in half a second. Okay, so this is going to be a little scary. I think I want to use this on this. Please grab this. How the fuck do I do this? I think I can. I think I can. I don't think it's impossible to do the fortress. I just... Man, a slight incline is like the biggest ally of the shield devastators. Like, they become invincible to me with an incline, which is like why I understand why some people don't like precision weapons on the bots. I just think the dopamine of hitting a headshot is very, very nice on this front. Even though I'm usually not like a precision weapon kind of guy, especially not in like PvP games, because my aim is ass, as I've demonstrated throughout the mission. You and no, oh my god, thank god I hesitated for half a second before throwing the Giga Grenade, because there I was just dead. If I got ragdolled with it, like as I threw it, I think it would have just blown up on me. Reload, please. Sorry, I told you to stop. Ooh. Oh fuck, we're not making it to evac. Oops. It's entirely because I like just walked past that one objective and just didn't do it. That was a really stupid of me. Okay, I'm just gonna have to make judicious use of stems. And by judicious, I mean using it every time that little bar at the bottom of the screen gets empty. Oh, fuck, there's mud. That's bad. No time to hang around and efficiently reload. I'm not even gonna open the map to like tag it because, you know, I can see the big beam of light. And like genuinely it might be that close. Oof. One of those times I wish we had a free vehicle slot so I could just have an FRV. Or the one-person motorbike that's getting added tomorrow for sure this time. Oh man, I would love a personal vehicle that's just fast. I feel like that's so low on their priority list at this point, but that would be cool. Okay, we're almost there. I think we're gonna make it. I think we're okay. I mean, if we don't die, I think time is not gonna be the problem here. Might pressure me a little bit, but I think extract was clear. Yeah, extract was clear. It's not a guarded extract. Okay. If it was a guarded extract, I think that would have been GG. No resupplies at extract too, so that would have been tough if there were a lot of enemies around. Thankfully not. Okay, we are almost there. Little close. I'm sad I died at the fortress. That could have been a fun deathless run, but alas, there's just so many things in the game that can kill you so fast. If you want to do like actual deathless runs, you have to play in like a very, very, very specific way where you just like minimize the risk of bullshit and bugs happening to you, and I just don't enjoy that play style. So I'm fine losing out on the deathless clickbait. Okay, and here we go. That's the mission. Now, my opinion of the spear has not changed at all. I think it is another one of those weapons that is on the usable, like it's in the usable area of the spectrum. Like it's not terrible. Like you can have a successful mission with it, as you just saw, and it does like contribute something when you bring it. But I do think it is, again, on the extreme lower end of usable. Very close to unusably bad. Higher than some other things. I think it's a little bit closer to the middle, but I still think the aim of balance should be to have things as high up on that usable spectrum without going into overpowered, because that's when the weapon is the most fun, I think. Now, granted, you can't always hit that spot perfectly. Sometimes you want to undershoot a little bit so it's not too overpowered. That's fine, but right now we're undershooting by a lot, and the spear, it's never been good. I hope that changes someday, because I think the anti-tank options we have in this game are really lacking. Aside from obviously the really good ones we use every single missions, the reason why variety is so bad isn't because those things are overpowered. It's because everything else is just not that good. Maybe you can argue the recoilless is a little overpowered. I would say the recoilless could afford to be a little less good against the automaton tanks. I don't think it should one-shot them, like if you hit them from the front, like the Annihilator tank specifically. But that's about it. I really... Because like it can one-shot factory striders, but that does require going for a weak point where you do have to be exposed, so I don't mind that. Really the only thing I would change about the recoilless is, again, that automaton, like that Annihilator tank weak point. But that's a topic for another time. Anyway, if you haven't used the spear in a while and were wondering if it was good now, it's not. If you end up rolling it in like a loadout randomizer, will you have a horrible time? Probably not. Not on the bots, at least. I think you will on the bugs and the squids, but besides the point, you'll have an okay-ish time on the bots. Is this something you ever should go out of your way to pick? And does it have any specific niche that it really excels in? Not really. I don't even think it excels against roach dragons anymore. I think there's just better options against them that are also good against the rest of the faction. So the spear just doesn't really do anything these days. It never really did. I'm gonna be honest. I'm sorry, spear fans, but you guys are used to suffering if you're a spear fan, if I'm gonna be honest. But anyway, that's enough rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will see you all in the next one.